Have you ever been in a conversation talking to somebody at a party or something like that? And even though the person's like right in front of you, you can tell that they're not really paying attention. They're maybe looking out to the right or left, maybe for that cooler group of people to hang out with. How does that make you feel? I think we've all had one of those, if not a number of them. Doesn't feel good, does it? Makes you feel insecure, unworthy, um, and you just want to like astral project right out of there. Compare that, of course, to another conversation with somebody that's a close friend and they really get you, you know, and they're paying attention, they're asking good questions, they're looking right at you, and they're right with you in the story. It's almost like they were there because they're asking the next right question. That's a lot better, isn't it? And those are the kind of people that we love having as friends. My wife is like that to me, and it's been 45 years of bliss because she really gets me. You might say she's present. When you're listening, you're looking and answering questions. You're somebody. He's just present. He's there. He's right with you. Not yesterday, not tomorrow. He's right with you right now. He's that person's present. What would you say if I said that the Lord, one of his names, is he's ever present? Do you think that's possible? Is he so far up? Like he's good and he's great, but he's far away. And I think he just spun the world and eventually we get off. But is he really involved? Does he really like pay attention? Does he get us? Is he present? Well, we're going to find out today. Hi, I'm Brian. Faith, Fit, Psalms. It's me again. Feel free to subscribe and hit that button, get alerts. We're on this playlist called That's What God Is Like, and we're on part 11, believe it or not. And I'm just going to keep on going until I just fall down and exhaust myself. Although, to be honest with you, talking about the greatness of God, I can do it all day long. We're going to look at a couple of stories again, Old Testament, New Testament, and a little theme of the ever presence of God, that he's as near as we need him to be all the time. So let's jump over to Deuteronomy chapter 4, and then we're going to jump back to Exodus and over to the book of Mark, and we're going to look at this. And the purpose of this is to encourage you so that if you're not going to watch this video, you can always watch as many times as you want, trust me. But you have your own Bible and you can read it for yourself. Read it first thing in the morning, read it before you go to bed, and let these stories, these true stories, because they reveal the glory and majesty of God. And life day by day has the opposite effect, right? It kind of wears us down, waters us down. We drift, we leak, we stumble, we fall, but we have a God that's ever present and wants to be involved in our life. So let's get to it. Deuteronomy chapter 4. And this is the fifth book of the Bible. And Moses is leading the people from Egypt to the promised land. They've had to wander for 38 years because they disobeyed God the first time they had an opportunity to go. So now they're on the border of the Jordan River and they're about to cross this time. And he's reminding them of a bunch of things from their past so that when they go in, they'll be ready. Deuteronomy means second law, second reading. So he's reminding them of all the goodness of God. So he says in chapter 4, Deuteronomy verse 7, for what great nation, this is a question, what great nation is there that has a God so near to it as is the Lord our God whenever we call upon him? What nation is there that has a God, that's a small g, like our God, capital G, who's ever present, who's as near to them as the Lord our God is near to us, whenever we call upon him. So what are you saying? You're saying that Moses is saying that God is ever present. He's right by our side. All we have to do is call? Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. What God is like that? Who can forget his miracles and wonders? He's incomprehensible. He's amazing. He's glorious. And he's ever present on your behalf. So let's go backwards. Exodus chapter 14. Israel has just been delivered out of Israel has been delivered out of Egypt and the slavery for the last 400 years, and by the time they actually got to the Promised Land, it was another 40. So almost 450 years before they went. Abraham's promise was fulfilled, and so they left in great pomp and ceremony, or miracles and wonders, I should say, and on behalf of Israel against Egypt, and devastated the nation. And so instead of going straight to the Promised Land, God had them take a circuitous route through the wilderness because he wanted to test them a little bit, because they knew when they got to the Promised Land, they needed to have a lot more faith, because they've been in slavery for 400 years and they needed to sort of learn a couple of things. And so he has them out in the wilderness. In the meantime, Pharaoh is regretting letting them go. He said, why did I ever let those guys go? And I'm sure his attendants and his philosophers and his counselors said, there's a major reason. The nation's devastated, and we didn't want any more of that God doing what he does. But then he said, I should have never let those guys go. Then he heard a little report they were wandering. And so he said, mount up all the chariots and the horses and the armies, and let's bring them back. We're going to bring him. Let's get him back. Plus, we'll get our silver and gold back. This is in chapter 14 and verses 1 through about 9. He said, what have you done letting those slaves get away? Let's go get them. So off they go. Now, in the meantime, the Israelites are kind of minding their own business and living their lives. And all of a sudden, they feel like a little trembling. Others are looking out and they're seeing like dust clouds, saying, What's going on? What are I hear for that trembling? Why the dust clouds? Something. And they look at somebody who has better eyes than the other, said, uh-oh, what's going on? I see chariots. The Egyptian army is coming. They're coming after us. They're like, okay, well, let's get out of here. And they turn to the other side, and guess where they are? They're on the Red Sea. They're like, the Egyptians are coming this way. When they go the other way, it's the Red Sea. So they begin to freak out. And they turn against Moses in verse 11 or so. And why did you bring us out? Oh, I know, because there weren't enough graves in Egypt. And didn't we tell you to just leave us alone? Slavery was better than what's about to happen to us. And then Moses says to him, don't be afraid. Every time we get into the crisis, we get fearful, right? And we start accusing people, accuse God, accuse our wife, accuse our boss. Most of the time, just be quiet, wait it out a little bit, and trust God. Don't be afraid. He said, just stand where you are. The Lord, and watch the Lord rescue you. Notice he didn't say, get into a battle formation. He said, just stand where you are and watch. For the Lord will rescue. The Egyptians that you see today, and they're coming at us every moment I speak, they're getting closer and closer and closer. The Lord himself will fight for you against them. The ones you see today, you'll never see them again. The Lord will fight for you. This is getting even more absurd. You see them, you're not going to see them anymore. You don't have to do anything. He says, you won't even have to lift a finger in your defense. And so the rest of the story tells you exactly what happened. So in the meantime, the Lord is leading them by a cloud by day. He takes the cloud and he puts it between him and the Egyptians, and it's really dark for them, so they can't go too far, so they camp. In the meantime, over that night, the Lord has a powerful east wind, and it parts the Red Sea and dries the ground. Because, the ground's all wet, right? From being under the water. And so he dries the ground, and then Moses leads them through. 3 million people. In the meantime, the Egyptians don't know what's going on, but eventually the cloud parts when the day begins, and the darkness dissipates, and they see them and they go, all right, come on, let's go. And they start going into the sea after them. And then God causes confusion. And all of a sudden, the ground gets wet again, and the chariots are struggling, and the wheels are falling off, and there's confusion. And they're looking around, and then they're going, uh-oh, we thought we had a path to bring them back, but that God of theirs is at it again. And so with a word, the Lord releases the waters. And after Israel had gone all the way through, and it drowns all the chariots of horses, the chariots are sunk, and all the soldiers and Pharaoh himself. Whoa, wow. And it's a true story. Now, you may have seen the movie, but it's a true story. Oh my God, who are you? For what nation is there that has a God so near to it as is ever present whenever we call upon him? Now that's dramatic. I don't think any of us have had a moment like that, but that's where to take that and ponder it and think about it, because he wants us to. The next time you're in trouble, don't make God plan G or plan F or F, E, F, G, plan Q, way down the alphabet. Let him be your go-to, your priority. Lord, I'm going to trust you here and now, and I'm not going to try to do all my human activity and then ask you to bless it. I'm going to wait and watch and see what you do. And you watch. Our God is a God that's ever present and ends up working on your behalf. You won't have to lift a finger, because that's what our God is like. You got to love him. You got to sign up for more, don't you? I am. Let's jump over in the New Testament. Again, less dramatic story, but something you can really relate to. We're talking about a guy by the name of Jairus. He's an official an official of the synagogue. Mark chapter 5 and verse 21 through the rest of the chapter. So we got this guy, and he comes to Jesus. He finds him because his daughter, who's about 12 years old, is sick, and he knows the doctors can't do anything about it anymore. And she's got a big fever. She's sick, in pain, and she knows he's going to die. She's going to die, excuse me. So he goes to Jesus and gets right on his face, says, please come and place your hands on her. So there he was. Jesus was present. And the beautiful thing is, he didn't go, hey, see all these people around here? I'm sorry your daughter's sick. God bless you. Or since I'm God, well, I bless you, but off you go. I'm busy. I got a lot of people. You know what Jesus says? He says, I'll go with you. And so verse 24, Jesus goes with him. Now, as you read the story, the next 10 verses, while he's on his way, a woman who had been sick for a long time and had never gotten healed, gotten worse, as a matter of fact, touches him and gets healed. And so Jesus is ministering to her on the way. So then while this is all happening, we'll now jump to verse 35. While he was still speaking to this woman, messengers arrived to Jairus and said, hey, don't bother the teacher any longer. Your daughter has died. She's gone. Just come on back home. Don't bother him. Don't bother him. Come home. And so Jesus hears this, and I love this. It says, Jesus ignored their comments in verse 36. He ignored them. And he turned to Jairus and said, hey, look at me. Trust me. Don't be afraid any longer. Trust me, and I'll take care of her. It'll all work out. And just trust me. Wow. Don't be afraid any longer. Just trust me. She's going to be fine. Oh, that's a God that's ever, not only is he going with them, but he ignores criticism. He says, so they make it there. When they get there to the house, there's all this weeping and gnashing of teeth because the wailers were there, for grieving and crying. And he says, hey, stop the weeping. Verse 39, why all this commotion? The child isn't dead. She's just asleep. So then the crowd started laughing at him. Bunch of people weeping. Now they're laughing. What are you talking about? We just saw her. She's dead. So he just leaves everybody there and just takes Peter, James, and John and the parent and the father and mother, and they go into where the girl is. He gets right up close to her, and he's holding her hand. The living God that parted the Red Seas takes that little girl, holds her hand, instead speaks to her, and he says, little girl, get up, live. And the girl's 12 years old immediately stood up and started walking around. Now, of course, she had no idea what was going on, right? And Jesus' command, here's an interesting, then Jesus tells the parent, don't tell anybody this happened. Give her something to eat. What kind of a God is that present that he goes with us? I'll go with you. I'll go to your home. I'll help you. I'll hold your daughter's hand. I think we've all probably witnessed that either we've been doing the whole hand holding, or we've been to somewhere where we're at maybe in a hospice situation or a hospital where people gathering around you, holding the hand, you're talking to them, comforting them. Jesus did that to this little girl. What God is like that? That's what our God is like. And he's not only did he go with them, did he ignore the criticism, did he raise the girl and give it back to the parents, but he was so present that he said, hey, give the girl something to eat. She hasn't had anything to eat probably for days. If you've ever had the flu or something like that, one thing, as soon as you get better, you're better because you're hungry and you're famished. One time I had the flu, I lost 10 pounds. I don't have a lot to lose, but I lost 10 pounds. And because you just don't eat for 5 days. And he was that present. Who is present? What God is there that does things like that? But that's what our God is like. And he's available to you. The biggest problems, death, destruction, enemies coming one way, an ocean the other way. Don't be afraid. Put your trust in him. And he has a way to meet your needs. Because he's a God that's ever present. Because that is what God is like. Feel free to check out some other things. I'll put some in my notes. I'll put some links. And keep coming back for more. Keep drawing closer. Keep loving him. You'll never come to an end. Because our God is a God of the wonderful. It's hard to forget. And you have problems, he's got answers. You have needs, he has solutions, because that's what our God is like. Peace.